Sometimes I feel like I'm running late for my own life. Everyone around me seems to be on time for theirs, or maybe even ahead of schedule. Sometimes I wish I lived in outer space, because in space, time doesn't matter like it does here on Earth. When I lay in bed, unable to sleep because my mind won't let me rest, I can hear my internal clock ticking away, watching each second, minute, and hour pass by, knowing I've lost them forever. All of my friends seem to have it figured out. They are getting married, having kids, studying towards a degree, or holding down a job, while I'm sitting here, doing none of the above right now. Time keeps ticking, and sometimes I feel like I haven't moved. Constantly feeling like I'm not where I should be. In other words, life just isn't how I pictured it to be at 25. On Earth, a tiny rock covered with over 70% water, destined to float in space until our sun dies. All we seem to care about is time. Time is the most frequently used noun in the English language, and nothing seems more basic or real than time. We think about how much we do have and how little we have left of it. To make matters worse, clocks are everywhere. Our phones show it us every time we look at them. Alarms scream it at us to remind us of it every morning. Our life sometimes feels like it's dictated by times and dates on calendars. Growing up is inevitable, and with it the feeling of whether or not we're doing it right. From a young age, it feels like society ingrains in us a supposed timeline of our life, laid out like a map for everyone to follow. This supposed timeline can make you feel like you failed at your own life, if you haven't reached the milestones or goals society expects that you should have reached at a certain age. While we're in school, our paths are mostly laid out for us. We're among peers, growing and going through the same milestones at the same general pace. Then, after high school or college, we start going off on different paths, and the comparison about who's ahead and who's behind starts to get murky. So, because we don't have clear indicators of measuring progress anymore, the way we did when we were in school, we end up comparing how behind we are based on external things we can see, like marriage, buying a house, having kids, starting a business, or even selling one. At this point, I found myself staring at the mirror and wondering, am I behind? Am I doing something wrong? Am I really an adult? Shouldn't I be more established by now, more financially stable, more advanced in my career? What does established even mean? It felt like everywhere I looked, I saw the Facebook or Instagram highlight reels of people that were progressing faster than me, hitting milestones earlier, climbing the ranks with more ease, figuring things out faster. I thought the reason I felt this way was because I was doing something wrong. Maybe I'd focused on the wrong things after graduation, or maybe I just wasn't meant to have the things that seemed to come so easily to other people. But that wasn't it at all. My comparison actually had nothing to do with what had happened or not happened in my life so far. It had everything to do with how I was feeling about my life at the time. When I was unhappy that I haven't established a normal job yet, or my living situation, or my social life, my first instinct was to look around and assume the reason for my unhappiness was because I lacked something that other people had. At this point in my life, I still haven't hit a lot of the life milestones for a happy existence according to social norms. But I no longer worry about being behind. That's because I genuinely like the life I've built for myself because it aligns with what I most care about. The reason I wasn't happy before wasn't because I was behind. It was because I didn't know how to measure my life according to the things that actually mattered to me. This universal idea that society gave me for the supposed timeline of my life isn't for me, and that's okay. Comparing my life and the time scale of it to others will do nothing but make me feel upset and want to move to outer space. When in reality it is my life, and however I'm living it must be right for me. I might be slow to do some things and faster to do others, but I'll get to where I want to be. If you can relate, here are some tips that I found to help me get past the overwhelming feeling of being behind in life. First, start by identifying your triggers and how you engage with them. Whether it's social media, reality shows, magazines, or any other source, if certain contents leave you feeling low, consider doing a digital detox. I often find myself consuming these things out of habit rather than with intention. Of course, we can't avoid every impetus, and sometimes our feelings of inferiority stem from our most stable foundations, like long-lasting friendships or a competitive but beloved career. In those instances, the Harvard Business Review suggests to view your peers' progress objectively, as if you were a journalist researching their story rather than someone in direct competition with them. Once you start to identify the situations that provoke you to feel behind, you may consider to quit all activities that prompt insecurity. But that's rarely a reasonable or pragmatic solution. Cutting off your friends or stop using social media is only isolating you. A better approach would be to question your intention. For example, the next time you're scrolling through your social media accounts, ask yourself why you're doing it at this moment. Are you bored? Then intentionally decide to engage for entertainment and not to judge yourself. However, if these activities become disturbing for you, take a break from them. You can always approach them later with the intention to learn. To wish you were someone else is to waste the person you are. Stephen Goran Eriksson. So the question is, who are you comparing yourself to? As Teddy Roosevelt famously stated, comparison is a thief of joy. It's human nature to feel like maybe you went down the wrong path or that you aren't quite at the level of your peers. Some days it's enough to make you want to crawl into a cave. However, this not only is an isolating feeling, it's also exhausting trying to live up to other people's ideas of what you should be doing or what you should have already done in your life, especially since they have no idea about your life and what it's like. On the other hand, you have no idea about their lives either. After all, no one is posting their failures, which makes it hard to see that others haven't got everything worked out in life like we think they do. It's hard to see past all the accomplishments and happy moments people share online, to actually see the person whose life is far from the shiny perfection they're trying to show. But realistically, there's probably only one or two people, when we boil it down, are the real triggers behind us feeling, well, behind. So start with your immediate friend group. Are you feeling behind because you're now the only one who's single, still living at your parents' house, still trying to figure out what career fits you best, and now you have started to feel excluded somehow? Reassuring ourselves that those who know us best will still be there for us, regardless of reaching certain milestones at the same time, we can settle back into our own set of circumstances, and with less pressure of needing to keep up. And if you find that you're comparing yourself to the glorified images of people beyond your immediate social scene, then give yourself a break. Know that you are where you are meant to be and do the best you can. We're all dealt different cards. Sometimes you have to take detours because the universe sends you curveballs that you have never expected. Do the best you can with what you have been given. A vital part of moving beyond feeling behind is knowing you're on your own path and embracing it. Instead of focusing on what you lack, what others seem to have, it can be helpful to switch gears and think about what's unique about your journey. It's not about feeling better or less than someone else, but about seeing how your life is unfolding in ways that could help you specialize in a field, interest, or experience. For example, rather than bemoaning you're not married or don't own a home, think about how flexibility could enable you to move to a new city or take a job assignment. Your life doesn't have to look like anyone else's but your own. Trust the timing of your life. There's a reason that you went down the path that you did. Sometimes we need to go down a different path to get to where we want to end up. Detours are great for both road trips and in life. Sometimes the unexpected detours are the best parts. If you're not marking off milestones at the pace you desire, it can often be because other ones need to happen first. Embrace that forward is a pace. Writer Jamie Varon explains it well. Sometimes the novel is not ready to be written because you haven't met the inspiration for your main character yet. Sometimes you're not falling in love because whatever you need to know about yourself is only knowable through solitude. In the end, everyone's story is different. We all face different challenges and obstacles in our lives. You can't skip chapters. That's not how life works. You have to read every line, meet every character. You won't enjoy all of it. Some chapters will make you cry for weeks. You will read things you don't want to read. You will have moments when you don't want the pages to end. But you have to keep going. Feeling behind is a feeling. While all feelings feel real, they aren't all factually based. Feelings are not always facts. Feeling behind is not real. You are simply where you are. Realize how far you've come. Sometimes we feel like we're staying still, when in fact we've made incredible progress. Where were you last year? Sometimes I get down about little progress I feel I've made. But when I think back to last year, I realize that I have changed enormously. We sometimes forget the need to dig deep and face what we otherwise wish we could avoid. If we're not careful, over time it could be a very real possibility. We have learned how to sidestep struggle and how to tap out when things get uncomfortable. Is there an underlying fear or insecurity that has prevented you from choosing to commit to a career, settle down in a foreign city, save up for a house, or risk the vulnerability of a relationship that, as paradox as it may sound, you are actually behind? Not behind in the sense that there's only one right way to live life, but behind in that you haven't pressed in when a challenge could have been necessary to shape or mature your life. This isn't always the case, of course, but reevaluating your motivations and where you are in life from time to time will help you move forward. Be honest, gritty, and real with yourself. Big or small, what are the moments in your life that you are proud of? What have you accomplished? What circumstances in your life have only happened because things did not go according to the plan you made for yourself, or things society expects from you? Take a moment and you can probably think about when you took a less traveled road and accomplished something beautiful. Enjoy your own path. You're the only one who can. We are all unique, and so are our paths in life. The more you vibrate at your own energy and follow your own unique path, the more you will attract the people that resonate with you and situations that benefit you. Here's a new way to measure your progress in life. Ask yourself, how fulfilled do you feel on a regular basis? How happy and content do you feel each day? In my definition, this means creating a life of freedom, ease, creativity, deep connection, and what kind of impact I'm having on other people. The quality of your relationships. When I look around at all of the amazing people I've attracted into my life, who I can be 100% myself with, I know I'm doing something right. How well are you taking care of your health? By this I mean holistic health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Your focus on personal growth and constant learning. There's a great quote out there that says, if you're not growing, you're dying. I feel this on a personal level. When I'm stagnating, it feels like soul death. I always want to be learning something new. Feeling behind is a choice. Choices made to appease what you perceive others think you should be doing, rather than what nurtures you, are self-negating. And though they may seem like shortcuts, they will often not bring you any closer to fulfillment. I still catch my mind comparing myself to the ideals we are constantly subjected to by society, and feeling like I will never catch up. But then I center myself and realize I'm comparing myself to an ideal that is not necessarily applicable to me, and that I need to stay true to my own path. Life is much more personal, complex, and nuanced. If you found value and enjoyed watching, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos.